Hey there, I'm coming at you live today. Just want to do a quick vlog. I've got calls today. I've set it up so that I'm speaking with my customers, my members, um, 3 calls a day, half hour each. And over the weekend, I had to do a lot of the follow up that I didn't get to during the week. And it's turning out to be it's a half hour call, and there's about 15 minutes of prep and 15 minutes of follow up. So it's about an hour for each call, and I'm doing 3 a day. So that's 3 hours a day. I'm I'm devoting to one customer. One customer gets 1 hour of my time, and then so I do 3 a day. It's not really scalable, and I knew that going in. It's not scalable, but I didn't realize so many people would sign up. It's an experiment, and so I don't know if I'll be able to do this in the future. I might have to the save this like coaching call thing exclusively for sales, so that only new people get it, which kind of bugs me because I would love to give a lot of value to my, especially my best customers, the ones who have been with me for a long time. Um, and I don't know what to do about that. To me, maybe I should do like an office hours or a call in or something like that, because it's unfortunate to save it for new people who haven't paid you anything yet. When there are people who are really good to you and support you and everything. So I'm dealing with that. Over the weekend, I also worked on the volunteer program for Closure Sync. Basically, I got 9 applications, and I'll probably get some more. I sent it out, but I sent it out to some more people, some more individuals. Like, hey, didn't you say you wanted to do it? So I'll probably get some more applications, but I'm trying to get a sense of what people are what people are needed, what tasks are actually needed during the conference. It's definitely not going to be a thing where I have so many volunteers I don't know what to do with them, but I need to think ahead of time what each person should be doing, so I can just tell them quickly, maybe even have it written down, and then I don't have to I don't have to babysit them. I don't have to manage them because the tasks should be so clear. That is something I learned doing a workshop here, which was I organized the thing, and then I also taught. And so during the workshop, I had to do everything because I didn't have the chance to tell anybody, all the volunteers we had, what they should be doing. Like even something as simple as what food to put out for lunch. Like I knew what was the lunch food because we had lunch food, we had snack, we had breakfast. So like I knew what it was, but so that meant as soon as I stopped teaching, I had to like jump into the kitchen and start grabbing stuff out of the fridge, and so it was just like constant work. Even though there were volunteers like hanging out, like I wish I could help, I just don't know what to do. So I'm just trying to be super prepared for that. I know that I need to be available. I mean, I want to enjoy the conference. I want to talk to people. I want to meet them. But I also want to be available for emergencies and things like that. So that is what's happening on the Closure Sync front. Um, I told you I broke even, which is really good. There's still 3 speakers who haven't sent in their receipts for their flight. Um, so I hope that they can get an affordable flight. One of them has said he bought it, but he hasn't sent me the receipt. One of them has sent me the receipt, but hasn't sent me his address, so I can't send him a check. So I'll probably just pay him at the conference. I'll just have the check ready. These are the little things that come up. Um, right, I worked on my personal site over the weekend. I am rebranding myself as the functional guy. I mean, that's not my brand, but that's I'm the expert of functional programming. There isn't one right now. uh, there are people um, who people look to for answers and guidance, but they're not like you the one person you think of. And there's a lot of room in this space, I feel, to become that person. And um, so I've been thinking a lot about this because I was focusing on closure and I wanted to do other stuff, but I was like, no, I got too much going on with closure. Closure is still a big space. But here's the thing, when I go to a closure conference, people know me. Like they come up and they shake my hand and they say hi and um, they wanna take their picture with me, that kind of thing. I mean, a little bit, not a lot, but they know me and they wanna thank me and stuff like that. When I go to say a JavaScript conference, I'm nobody, which is cool. Except I want to be somebody. I want to be the functional guy. And even if so, I feel like there's plenty of room to grow here, whereas there's not much room to grow in closure, at least in terms of celebrity, in terms of like just being known. Um, there's not a lot of room to grow in closure. I'm still, uh, it's still my goal to have a comprehensive closure training suite. Um, but I'm starting to think about how I can scale up content production way more than I've got. So I did about 30 hours of content last year, and that's pretty good. Um, but like even with all that, I, I look at what's missing, and I know what I need to do. It's just when, I need a good block of time to just crank out the copy, the words, and then record it and do all that. And that doesn't leave time for this expansion into the functional programming space. So, I mean, I've been really racking my brain like, is it is it do I get someone else to take over the newsletter? Do I I have an idea of somebody who's really intellectual, curious, and in a space and could do a good job with making something interesting. It would be different, but it would be very interesting. Um, and he's into closure. He's into Lisp. So, I'm thinking about just like handing that off, even though the newsletter itself is not that big of a chore. Um, it requires reading a lot online and doing a lot of watching of videos and stuff like that, which does take a lot of time. But I've got it down to such a system now. It's like, Sunday night rolls around and in half an hour I can put together a newsletter. As long as I've been being diligent throughout the week. And that's really what the hardest part was. It's just like every time you read something interesting, put it here. Every time you read something interesting, put it here. Anyway, I would love to have someone else or some other way of doing production in a faster way. So, there's this company called Front End Masters, and what they do is they schedule an in-person training with a well-known expert. And then they do the training, but they record it, and then they sell the recordings. And so that way, they are able to scale up. They don't have to be experts at everything themselves, and they can make money on the in-person and on the um, the recordings. That that might work, and I might have to just get over myself because I do feel like I'm a good teacher, but I might have to get over myself of being the bottleneck on this because I feel like I've got something, but you know I'm this is tough because do I want to be Do I want to find a business partner? So like a business person, someone who's focused on the marketing, the sales, the administration, the management, all that stuff, the business side. Or this is my backyard, by the way. Or do I want to find do I want to become that business person and find more content creators or somehow come up with a system? Like one thing, lynda.com, one thing they do, and see this might work. This might work. One thing they do, I've heard, is they make like a retreat. So they'll do something like they'll fly in 10, I'll just say, they'll fly in 10 experts, and they're in like a nice house with all the equipment they need, all the video stuff, and they just produce it. And like all their meals are provided for, and there's a lot of coaching and help when you get stuck, and it's just like they call it a spa, right? And so I've always imagined that's a possibility. Like you 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 want to make a course, I'll fly you in, we'll rent a house, and um, like I will be there right next to you, and we'll just crank it out in 3 days. And because it doesn't take long when you do it full time with someone guiding you, um, even if you're not used to producing content so quickly, like one person types, the other person talks, and you hash out the difficult things into an outline, and then you turn on the camera and you just start talking, and then someone edits it. And so maybe that's a way of scaling it out um, in into something more. So I just want to dominate the functional programming space. I mean, I say that. I want to make a good living. It's hard. It's hard doing this, and the money though is um, the money part has to happen, right? Like I want to. What am I trying to say? Money is important insofar as it will let me scale, because I need to scale, because if I don't scale, I'm going to be I'm going to be recording these closure videos for the rest of my life, because I'm never going to get fast enough to um, to ever finish. Um, and I want functional programming to be a viable option for uh, for, for software jobs. I think it's a paradigm with a lot of value to it, and there just needs to be more more support for businesses. Basically, they need to know, hey, there's someone who can train us. You need to get up to speed on this. We have a new hire, or we have our team needs to get better. They need to know that if they need that, they can hire, right? That they can hire a consultant to come and train. Um, Otherwise, they can't they can't really take the risk of using this newfangled language with this funny funny paradigm. That's my idea. There's no, just real quick, there's no um, body of literature for functional programming, because it's all been so academic for so long. It's all like types and stuff, category theory and things like that. So the literature is like not how do I build, an enterprise system? How do I build a bank? You know, or how do I keep my code maintainable? Like there's none of that stuff for the functional world. It's all put in terms of object-oriented stuff. So anyway, I'd like to do that. It's a lot to do. So I need to scale this up. So one thing I've been thinking is, why not have
um, kind of an imprint, a branded book category like O'Reilly now has the Lean series. So it started with the Lean Startup, and now that guy is managing all these other people who are actually doing like pretty good content. I didn't think the Lean Startup was that good, but the other stuff where he's hiring an expert and saying, just say what you do, talk about what you do, but then put lean everywhere. Which is basically what he's doing. Like, do it on a budget, right? Do it for the like scrappy startup, and so then he is getting a little bit of every book sale because that's what it needs. That's what you need to make money on books. You need a whole suite of books. Anyway, I'm going over time, so thank you very much. Put your questions in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like or dislike. Press one of those buttons. Also, subscribe. I'm Eric Normand, and this was my vlog. Thank you so much.